everyone, it's Crochet by Beb. Welcome to my channel. Hope you are doing well today. For this video tutorial, we're going to make a cardigan, and this cardigan is made to measure. As you can see here, it's the same stitch pattern, the same colors from my previous sweater vest or top. I really like the combination of these colors, so I made a cardigan using these colors again, as you can see. For a quick recap, the construction of the cardigan, you can start at least half of your bust measurement to make the back panel if you would like a regular size. But if you would like a wider one, an oversized, you can start wider than your half of your bust measurement. So this is a made to measure, so you can do any size you would like to make your cardigan, okay? And then how long you would like. So first the back panel, and then the two front panels, and then sewing the panels all together, and then going straight to make the sleeves touching here, and then the side borders, and then the collar, and last the cutesy straps, and that's it. So it's very simple, and the stitch pattern is repetitive, so it's very easy to make. For your reference, my cardigan is 18 inches wide. This is a regular fit, at least half of my bust measurement. But if you would like a bit larger, you can add more into your half of your bust measurement to begin your back panel, okay? And the sleeve is 15 inches long or 38 centimeters. So this is only for your reference, okay? So this is my size. And the collar is 4 inches, 10 centimeters. And this is 15 inches long, 38 centimeters. So this is how long I would like for my cardigan. But if you would like a longer one or crop one, you can do that also, okay? And the stitch pattern is a multiple of 3 plus 1 if you're gonna use the foundation chainless half double crochet. And if you would like to start with chains, your stitch pattern will be a multiple of 3 plus 2. I explain furthermore in the next clips. And the stitch pattern of this is at 1 row repeat. It's very easy to make, and the side is half double crochet, and this it's very simple also. And I will show you also how to do the flare for the sleeves. And I use drop saffron. This is 100% cotton. It's a sport weight yarn, 5 colors. I will put how many grams or how many meters I use with these yarns. And 3.5 millimeter hook, scissors, yarn needle, and tape measure. And this is the colors that I'm going to use for my cardigan. If you are interested to look this yarn, this is drop saffron by Garn Studio. These are the numbers. This is number 18, number 66, number 50, number 69, and this is number 63. So this is drop saffron, 100% cotton. It's a sport weight yarn. I really like to use this yarn. This is not sponsored, but if you would like to use the same, you can look their website. Alright, so this is the colors that I'm going to use to make my cardigan. Alright, so before we begin, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the notification so you will be notified for more videos. If you would like to share your work with me, you can share it in my Instagram at Crochet by Beb. Alright, so hope you will enjoy making your cardigan. Let's start. I'm going to discuss first the stitch pattern. In my panels, I started with a foundation chainless half double crochet, but if you would like to start by chaining, you can do that also. If you start with a foundation chainless half double crochet, your stitch pattern will be a multiple of 3 plus 1. And if you would like to start with chains, your stitch pattern will be a multiple of 3 plus 3. Then second chain from your hook, you're going to start your half double crochet. The skip 2 chains in the beginning doesn't count as a stitch, okay? So at the end, your stitch pattern, it should be a multiple of 3 plus 1 also. Alright, I started here my back panel with a foundation chainless half double crochet and then 2 more rows of half double crochet to make my hem part, and this is 1 inch only, so 3 rows of half double crochet, 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters. But if you would like a bit longer, you can do that also. And then after my hem, I start with a stitch pattern. This is cluster V stitch. Start with 1 double crochet, skip 2, then the cluster V stitch is 2 double crochet, 2 together, chain 2, 2 double crochet, 2 together, skip 2, and then cluster V stitch again. So it's very simple and repetitive stitch that you can just sit and relax to do this stitch pattern. Alright, for the measurement, you can start at least half of your bust measurement for your back panel. For example, I have 35.5 inches bust measurement, but I rounded up to 36, so my back panel is 18 inches. If you would like to make it a regular size, you can do that also. You can start at least half of your bust measurement to make your back panel. But if you would like a bit wider, bit oversized, you can add more inch into your back panel, okay? But if you would like fitted, you can less a bit into your back panel. All right, so this is a made to measure, so you can do which size you would like to make for your cardigan. And it's important also, you can make a small swatch, a few stitches, and then measure that, so you will know how many stitches you will need for your cardigan, because you can use also other yarn. It will be an acrylic or wool yarn, mixed yarn, anything yarn you would like to use for your cardigan, so you can have a different size of it. And also we have a different tension, so it's important to make a small swatch and then make a few rows and then measure that, so you will know how many stitches you will need for your cardigan or to make your back panel. Okay, all right, so I'm going to show you first how to do the foundation chainless half double crochet and the 2 more rows of half double crochet, then the stitch pattern, the cluster V stitch. All right, so if you would like to use or start with chains, you can do that. So I am going to show you here a foundation chainless half double crochet. So make a slip knot and then chain 2, then yarn over, then into your first chain, insert your hook, then grab a yarn, then pull through 1 to make the chains, then pull all through the 3 loops to make your first half double crochet. So you're going to start counting on this stitch. So this is the turning chain or the other chain that we made before. All right, so again, yarn over, insert your hook, these chains or these 2 loops at the bottom, then grab a yarn, pull through 1 to make the chains down, then pull 3 loops. All right, so again, yarn over, insert, hook these 2 loops at the bottom, grab a yarn, pull through 1, then pull 3 loops, yarn over, insert, hook these 2 loops at the bottom, grab a yarn, pull through 1, then pull 3 loops. All right, so you're going to continue this to make your foundation chainless half double crochet or your foundation row, and then we're going to continue our half double crochet 2 more rows here. Okay, all right, so I'm going to swatch only 25 stitches. So this is a multiple of 3 plus 1, 24 plus 1, so 25 stitches, just to show you how to make the stitch pattern. In my back panel, I have a total of 82 stitches, so this is 18 inches. All right, but first, my foundation row, it measures only 17 inches. All right, so it's very important you can do a small swatch, then you can measure that, so you will know how many stitches you will need for your back panel. Okay, so here my foundation row has 82 stitches. That is 81 plus 1 for the stitch pattern. Okay, so here I have now 25 stitches just to show you how to make the stitch pattern. When you are done with your foundation row, we're going to make the next 2 rows half double crochet. So to continue, you're going to chain 2. So I always doesn't count my chain 2 as a stitch. Okay, so doesn't count as a stitch. Then turn, then half double crochet into your first stitch. Then just continue half double crochet into all your stitches, and then into the next row repeat also chain 2, then half double crochet into all your stitches, so it's the same. For row 3, just chain 2 again, turn, then half double crochet into all your stitches. Then here into your last stitch, we're going to change yarn. Okay, alright, so now here I'm going to change my yarn. So I'm going to start now the cluster V stitch. But if you would like a wider or longer hem, you can continue half double crochet more. Okay, so here in my last stitch, so I'm going to insert my yarn there, and now I'm going to insert this to continue and finish my half double crochet. Then drop the tail, then we're going to carry this up, this yarn, so I'm going to put here, and then I'm going to make my chain 2 for my turning chain, and then turn work. Now I'm going to continue the stitch pattern. Alright, so before I'm going to explain it to you how to do or how to carry up your handwork yarn, as you can see here, so this is only the tail that I'm going to weave in my last row. So as you can see, there is no tails here. As you can see, I carried up the loop of the yarn in this side, also in the other side. So I'm going to show you the technique. So this works only if you're going to use an odd colors, I mean like 3 colors, 5 colors. It's going to work this carried up handwork yarn here at this side. But if you are using an even number of colors, what you gonna do is you can cut your yarn every now and then. I mean cut when you are done your first color, and then your next color, cut again. But you can carry up also your tail, so you can have less weave ends later. Okay, so you can do that also, but in this case I am using 5 colors, so it's gonna work in my carried up. So what I am telling you is, because I'm using 5 colors, so my first color here, and I'm stop here, so I drop this color here, and then continue on this part, this color, and then drop also my yarn here, this color, and then pick this color, drop in here, pick this color, drop in here, and then pick this color. Because of this color I continue also here, so I pick my white here and then continue my white until here, because I drop my yellow here. So in these rows I carried up this yellow, blue, pink, and this dark green until here. And then when I gonna use this color, so I already picked this yellow in this part. Okay, so for example 3 colors only, so you start this color, drop in here, start this color, drop in here, and then drop, pick this color and drop in here. So you're going to continue for your next color. If you're using only this color, for example, you're going not to pick this because you drop in here. Alright, so back in our stitch pattern, now we're going to continue here our cluster V stitch. So this is our chain 2 and turn, and then for the stitch pattern, make 1 double crochet into your first stitch. So this is my first stitch, double crochet. So remember, your chain 2 here doesn't count as a stitch throughout. Alright, then we're going to skip 2, then here into the next stitch we're going to work the cluster V stitch. Cluster V stitch is 2 double crochet, together, chain 2, 2 double crochet, 2 together, okay? 2 double crochet together, okay? So yarn over, insert hook in here, grab a yarn, pull through, so don't finish your double crochet. Again, yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, grab a yarn, you have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, you have 3 loops on the hook, then yarn over, pull all that 3 loops to make your 2 double crochet together, okay? Then chain 2, then make another 2 double crochet together in the same stitch. So yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, grab a yarn, pull through 2, don't finish your double crochet, again yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, grab a yarn, pull through 2, you have 3 loops on the hook, pull all that 3 loops. So you now have your first cluster V stitch done here. You can see it's like a little heart shape, or it's a leaf. So I really like this stitch pattern. Then to continue the stitch pattern, just skip 2 again. This takes 2 stitches. Then into your next stitch, work again cluster V stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook in there, grab a yarn, pull through 2, don't finish. Yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, grab a yarn, pull through 2, and then 3 loops at the hook, yarn over all in the 3 loops. Then chain 2. Then again, another 2 double crochet together into the same stitch. And then pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the same stitch, grab a yarn, pull through 2, then pull all 3 loops. You have your second cluster V stitch done. Okay, so you're going to continue this into all your stitches, then into your last stitch, work only 1 double crochet like here. Okay, so just continue here. So here we're going to change yarn or insert our next color if you're going now to change color, okay? Okay, so here into my last stitch, I'm going to skip 2 and then last stitch, I'm going now to change my yarn. So insert hook in your last stitch, grab a yarn, pull through 2, then don't finish your double crochet. To finish it, grab your next yarn and then pull that to finish your double crochet. Gonna look like that. Then here our yellow and the tail of this blue, I'm going to carry it up. So what I'm gonna do is take these loops and put around in your hook, then hold like that, then make your chain 2 for your turning chain like that. So remember, when you carried up the yarn, make sure not too tight or pull it tight here, so you can still have a stretch or room for the next rows here, okay? To continue, this is your chain to right, then turn work. So now we're going to work this color. So it's the same, we're going to repeat this stitch pattern, cluster V stitch. So into your first stitch, make your first double crochet, 1 double crochet, then into the chain 2 spaces, we're going to work our cluster V stitch, okay? So here into the first 2 chain 2 space, work your cluster V stitch, then chain 2, then another 2 double crochet together, then jump here into the chain 2 space and work your cluster V stitch, okay? Chain 2, 2 double crochet together. Okay, so you're going to continue this, make your cluster V stitch into the chain 2 spaces until here into your last chain 2, and then make your 1 double crochet on top of your last stitch or this double crochet. Then before you finish your double crochet here, you're going to change yarn again. So I'm going to show you again how to change and then how to carry this white and the tail of this yellow. Okay, continue here. All right, so I'm now here in my last stitch. So So I'm going to work my last double crochet and I'm going to insert my next yarn. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going also to put my carried up or the tail of the yellow around my hook, and then grab my yarn there and pull through two, and then I'm going now to insert my next yarn, then finish my double crochet, then drop the tail, and this carried up yarn we're going to wrap around here and then chain two. When doing this, make sure your chain two not too tight, just make it relax. As you can see, I don't pull much here, so it gives me a room of the stretch in this side. Okay, so just relax, don't make it too tight. Then turn work and continue the stitch pattern using this color. So it's very simple. So yarn over, insert hook, and double crochet in this first stitch, and into the chain two spaces again, work your cluster V stitch. Alright, so it's very simple and just repetitive stitch pattern of this cluster V stitch. So you can do this while you are watching, so it's very enjoyable to make this stitch pattern. Alright, so continue your cluster V stitch into the chain two spaces. Okay, so I'm going to show you once more here how to do the last stitch and insert the next color. So insert your hook here into your last stitch, wrap around this tail here or this carried up yarn here. Then now insert your next yarn. Just make it relax, don't pull it tight, then make a chain two. So we're going to wrap around these tails, carried up yarn, then make your chain two, then turn, then continue again. Stitch pattern, double crochet here, make it not too tight also your double crochet there, and then continue your cluster V stitch into the chain two spaces. Okay, so I'm going to finish this. Now I already inserted all the colors, so I'm going now to pick the yarn here. So my next color after this is the white. So as you can see here, my white is in this side, so I'm going to pick that up to make my next row after this. Okay, so this pick yarn works also if you're using only 3 colors. Okay. Okay, one more thing, if you are notice your first rows, when you're doing your first rows, it's a bit curved here. You can see it's like curved, but later if you are done a few more rows, it's going back into the straight line. You can see here, it will adjust it when you're done a few more rows. Alright, so it's normal. It's a bit compressed in this part and more wider here, but later it will adjust if you make more rows. Okay, so just continue, not to worry about it. But if it's too much the curve, maybe you need to adjust your tension. Okay, alright, so here I'm going now to show you how to pick the carried yarn here. So in my last stitch, I'm going to work my double crochet and carry all these handwork yarn here. I'm going to wrap all this around my hook like that, then grab my yarn and double crochet. So I'm going to finish this and pick my white yarn. This is now my next yarn to use for my next row. So I'm going to finish and pull this to finish my double crochet. So remember, by doing the carried up all this yarn here, make sure not pull this tight like that because it will compress this side. So just make it relax. You can adjust also here, not too tight, just relax. And now I'm going to chain two. So again, I'm going to wrap this all around, so later it's not a lot in here because this 2 here. You can see it's only the tail of my first colors. Okay, so just chain 2, turn, and again continue stitch pattern. So make it not too tight your double crochet here, and then cluster V stitch. Okay, so I'm going to show you again here how to do the picking up of the yarn and the tail. Alright, so again here I'm going to finish my last stitch. So wrap this all around and then pull and make your double crochet. So I'm going now to finish this and pick my next yarn, which is the yellow. So I'm going to drop that and pick my yellow, finish my double crochet. So don't pull it tight, and then I'm going to chain 2, wrap this all around, then chain 2, then turn, then continue stitch pattern. Okay, so you're going to continue like this until you reach the desired length for your back panel. So this is my back panel, and this is a total of 30 rows. Start here, so it's a total of 33 rows including the 3 rows of my hem part. So only 30 rows start here, and this is 15 inches long or 38 centimeters including the hem part. So you can continue your stitch pattern until you reach the desired length or long for your cardigan. Okay, so this is only my personal preference to make it only 15 inches long. If you would like longer, you can do that. If you would like shorter one or crop cardigan, you can make it shorter. So just continue the stitch pattern, and then when you are done, just cut your yarn here at the edge. So this is the tail only that I'm going to weave for my back panel. Okay, so when you are done your back panel, we're going to start the 2 front panels. Alright, so when you are done your back panel, now we're going to make the front panels. So this is my first front panel. So what you're gonna do is divide your stitches from your back panel. For example, I have a total of 82 stitches here, and divide that into 2 is 41 stitches, but our stitch pattern is a multiple of 3 plus 1, so my stitches here is 40 stitches only. So 40 stitches, and my other side panel, front panel, is 40 stitches also. It's okay to decrease a few stitches because we will need a space here to do the side borders for our front panels. Okay, so I decrease 2 stitches for me. You can do also, you can adjust your stitches according to our stitch pattern and make a decrease also, okay, to make a space for the side borders later. So the total of my stitches here on the first side is 40 stitches only, and 40 stitches also in this second front panel. To start, it's the same. You're going to start with your foundation chainless half double crochet or by chaining if you're doing that, and then 2 more rows of half double crochet, and then continue for the stitch pattern. It's the same way also how to carry up your yarn in these sides, and just continue the stitch pattern. So I'm going to measure this also to you so you will know. Yeah, this is only 8.5 or 21.5 centimeters. Alright, so make your first panel, and then here we're going to work the neckline. You can decide how low or how close you want the neckline of your cardigan. If you would like a bit lower, you can start the decrease in this part. It's up to you where do you want or how low you want for your neckline. So for me, I want it to be a bit close or not too low my neckline, so I did my decrease here. So this is 20 rows. Start from here. So in my 21st row, I made my decrease. In my previous tutorial, I made my decrease at least half the rows of my panels. So for example, this is 30 rows. So I made the decrease here after my 15th row. Here in my 16th row, I start my decrease. If you would like a bit lower, you can do that. But in this case, I want my cardigan a bit close. So I did the decrease in my 21th row. So this 20 rows, and then 21th row I made my decrease. So I'm going to show you how to do the decrease. All right, so decide first how low you want for the neckline for your cardigan. Okay, so I'm going to show you first how to do the decrease in this side. So this is my front panel, so this is the right side of this. So I'm going to make my decrease here. So I'm going to show you that. And the second panel, the decrease is in this part. So here I didn't yet done this because I'm going to show you how to do the decrease in this part. So first I'm going to show you how to do the decrease here. So I'm going to use this to show you. Okay, so to do the decrease, this is now my chain 2. So I'm going to turn. So chain 2 dozen canas stitch. Okay, so here into the first stitch, to make the decrease, work your regular double crochet. So work 1 double crochet here. So this is decrease 1. Okay, so here into your first chain 2 space, work only 2 double crochet together, half of your cluster. Okay, so only 2 double crochet together, and then after that jump into your next chain 2 space and work your cluster V stitch pattern. Chain 2 and 2 double crochet together, and then just continue the stitch pattern into the rest of your stitches. And then here at the side, it should be a normal double crochet, no decrease. All right, so here is our first decrease. 1 double crochet into the first stitch, and into the first chain 2 space, work only 2 double crochet together, and then into the next chain spaces, work your regular stitch pattern, your cluster V stitch, and then end your row with your 1 double crochet. So it's going to look like this. Okay, so I'm going to continue this, and then here I'm going to change color and make my rows here, and then I'm going to show you how to do the decrease in this side only. Okay, for the decrease 2, so when you are here into your last chain 2, make your cluster V stitch, and here into the last 2 stitches, which is your 2 double crochet 2 together and 1 double crochet, we're going to work 2 double crochet 2 together in these last 2 stitches. Okay, so yarn over, insert your hook into this second stitch on top of these 2 double crochet together, then pull through 2, then finish, then yarn over, insert hook into this last stitch, your first double crochet. So remember to carry this up, so put you in there around your hook, then pull through 2, 3 loops at the hook. Then to finish our 2 double crochet together, I'm going to change my yarn and pick my pink, and then finish my double crochet 2 together. Okay, so this is decrease 2. In your last cluster, work your cluster V stitch, and into your last 2 stitches, work 2 double crochet together. So remember to change yarn here when you're going to work your double crochet 2 together. Okay, so you can see it look like that. So this is our first decrease, double crochet into the first stitch, into the first chain 2 space, work only 2 double crochet together, and then jump into the next chain 2 space and work your cluster V stitch and continue. In our decrease 2, work your cluster V stitch into your last chain 2 space and then 2 double crochet into the last 2 stitches. Okay, so to continue, we're going to repeat decrease 1. So decrease 1, we're going to chain 2. So going to carry this. Chain 2 lason ka na sa stitch, turn work, then decrease 1, just copy this, decrease 1. Double crochet into the first stitch, then here into the first chain 2 space, work only 2 double crochet together. Then going to jump here and work our cluster V stitch, and then just continue stitch pattern. Then here, for the next row, we're going to repeat the decrease 2. So I'm going to show you once more. So I'm going to continue first this and change yarn and do my next row. And then I'm going to show you again how to do the decrease 2. Okay? So it's very simple to make the decrease 1 and decrease 2. Okay, so here I'm going to show you again once more how to do the decrease 2. So make your last cluster V stitch here into your last chain 2 space, then here into the last 2 stitches on top of these 2 double crochet together and 1 double crochet. Make your 2 double crochet together. So yarn over, insert hook, don't finish, then yarn over, insert hook into the last stitch, pull through 2. Now I'm going to pick my next color and finish my 2 double crochet 2 together, then chain 2 to continue, then turn, then continue your decrease 1, your double crochet into your first stitch and then 2 double crochet together only into the chain 2 space, and then into the next chain 2 space, work your cluster V stitch pattern. Okay, so it's super simple how to do the decrease. So decrease 1, again, make your first stitch double crochet into your first chain 2 space, work only 2 double crochet 2 together, and into the next chain 2 space, work your cluster V stitch. In decrease 2, make your cluster V stitch into your last chain 2 space, and then into the last 2 stitches, work 2 double crochet together, and then just repeat decrease 1, then decrease 2 to make the decrease of your front panel. Okay, so just do that. And there's instances that when you do the decrease, for example, you make your decrease more lower, you begin here, for example, so you can make a decrease and make your last rows here a bit thinner than this. What you can do is you can do your decrease, and then in the last few rows you can do without decrease to make or adjust this shoulder part. Okay, so when you are done your first panel, your decrease here, and now I'm going to show you how to do the decrease also in this part. So we're going to do the decrease in this side. So this panel, we work the decrease in this part. So our second front panel, start also your second panel the same way. It's the same stitches also from your first front panel, of course, and then continue the stitch pattern. And then when you are reached your decrease row, so I'm going to show you how to do the decrease also in this side. Okay, oh, before I forgot, if you are done your last row here, just leave a bit of long tail, just enough to sew the front and back panels together. Okay, so here I'm going to show you how to do the decrease. So now I'm here in my 21st row, going to make the decrease. So first I'm going to continue here because I'm going to make the decrease in this side. Okay, so now I'm here in my 21st row, so I'm going to do this row. Okay, so to do the decrease in this part, so here into your last chain 2 space, work only 2 double crochet together, and then into your last stitch, work 1 double crochet. So I'm going to change my yarn here. So it's the same from here, 2 double crochet together into your last 2 chain, and then 1 double crochet into your last stitch. So it's the same, only the difference is we are working in this side. So in our first front panel, we work in this side. Okay, so this is our decreased one. For the decreased 2, we're going to chain 2, turn work, decrease 2. It's the same also. We're going to work 2 double crochet together into the first stitch. So here you work your 2 double crochet together into your last 2 stitches. Okay, so we're just working in the other side. So 2 double crochet together on top of your first double crochet and on these 2 double crochet together. Okay, so 2 double crochet together, and then continue into the first chain 2 space, your stitch pattern. So work here your cluster V stitch, and then continue the stitch pattern into the rest of your stitches. Then again, once more, I'm going to show you how to do the decrease 1. Okay, so I'm going to continue first this. Okay, so I'm going to show you once more here the decrease 1. So here into your last 2 chain space, work only 2 double crochet together, then 1 double crochet into your last stitch. I'm going to change yarn here, finish my double crochet, and then chain 2, turn work, and repeat decrease 2 double crochet together into your first 2 stitches, and then continue your stitch pattern, cluster V stitch here, and continue in the stitches. Okay, so this is how it look like our decrease for this side. So it's the same, first decrease 2 double crochet together into your last 2 stitches and 1 double crochet into your last stitch. Into your next decrease, work 2 double crochet together into your first 2 stitches, and then continue stitch pattern into the chain 2 spaces. Then again here into the next, repeat decrease 1 is double crochet together into your last 2 chain space and 1 double crochet into the last stitch, and then just continue repeating decrease 1 and 2 to make your second front panel. And then when you are done your panel, just leave a long tail also. So continue your front panels, and then when you are done, we're going to sew the panels together. Alright, so when you are done your panels, now we're going to sew them together. So first, put your back panel into the right side out and your 2 front panels into the right side down. So the right side are facing together. The stitch is reversible, so you can decide where is your right side and wrong side. For me, I base here in my first cluster stitch. So this is my right side. So put your back panel right side up and the 2 front panels right side down. So right side are facing together. And we're going to start sewing first the shoulders and then the sides. I'm going to use my yarn needle to sew the panels together. So you just follow your stitches to sew the panels together.